Among other things, our conversation is geared towards building a cohesive engagement with people, relationships with failure, and accepting that sometimes things do not always work your way. So as we discuss through, our goal is to reframe a pre-existing perspective about failure, about progress, and about growth. So while other people look at failure as a way to portray them negatively towards the community and the society, our goal is to help you understand and accept when sometimes you're not making it, re-strategize, or this is not your path. Pursue another path that relates to who you are and the people around you who can build you towards that. Okay. So that is essentially what we are going to talk about all through this discussion.
Okay.
So welcome to another episode, welcome to another session where if you want to learn, you'll learn. If you want to find an excuse, you'll definitely find one in this episode as well. So we'll have our guest introduce himself, tell us what he does, and who he is or how he'd like you to know him as.
Okay, wonderful. I am Dr. Blacks Odur Nelson. I am the director, Riena International College. I'm also the director, NSG Educational Center, and the current chair for University of Scouting, Kenya.
Thank you very much. Now, first of all, have you failed before, socially, economically? Have you failed ever?
I have. I think they should give me a PhD in failing. So to put it into perspective, I wanted to be a lawyer, but I wanted to be a lawyer who is a priest.
Okay.
So I'm not a priest. Failure number one.
Okay.
I came from a staunch Catholic family, expected to become a priest, but along the way, things happened. So I didn't become a priest. I studied accounts, first degree.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Then I went into communication. But I realized that people used to tell me a lot about their issues. They found comfort in talking to me. And so I realized that my calling may not be in accounts or communication. Okay. So I moved into psychology. I did a postgraduate in psychology.
Okay.
Postgraduate diploma, then went on to do masters. Then I realized I'm inclined towards religion and what people believe in. So I moved into nouthetic psychology, which is basically spirit-based. Okay. You need to understand the beliefs of people before you give them therapy. Okay. But that informs how they view things. So I have failed because I'm a person who never went through a single path to say that I succeeded here and moved there. Okay. Started several businesses. I was into media. I did production of videos and stuff. Okay. That didn't go well as I wanted. I have started a lot of businesses that have failed, but they taught me lessons that sustain the current businesses that I run.
Okay.
Yep.
What do you think makes a difference between somebody who is consistent? Because based on where you are, I believe there are certain strides you've made which most of us admire and would like to be like. So it makes a difference between somebody like you who's been consistent and has built what you have and somebody like us who gives up 2-3 times and like, I don't think that's for me. And then I resort to despair.
So every step that you make daily, you move towards the goal.
Okay.
When you fail, I'll give it an analogy of going on a journey. So if you feel like you're failing, it may be just a puncture. You don't abandon your car because you've gotten a puncture. Okay. You remove the spare wheel, put it on the car, continue the journey. Now, if you give up, you lose the car, the distance covered, and the time wasted.
Okay.
Yeah. So I believe that provided my purpose is clear, I'll move towards that goal.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter how many times I fail, I'll keep on re-strategizing based on what I believe made me fail. I don't make excuses for failure. I analyze. I'm practical. Okay. I analyze and say, this was my problem in this. This was my doing. I leave every other person out of it. Okay. And then now I fix where the problem is.
So essentially, from an outsider's perspective, what sets you apart? Because as an individual, I would assume now you've learned enough to always be making the right decisions. Is there any time you second guess your choices?
All the time.
Despite what you've achieved yet?
All the time.
How is that possible?
Structures change, systems change, times change, situations are different, and it would be very stupid for me to assume that I already know everything.
Okay.
I take time to draw wisdom from everyone around me.
Okay.
I'm a village boy, and I come from a system where hope was the only thing we could work on, hope and faith.
Okay.
Brought up by a grandmother who was taking care of more than 20 kids.
20 is quite an interesting.
Yeah, and she wasn't employed.
Okay.
So every meal was a prayer answered, and we didn't miss one. Okay. So that is how I take life. Like, you'll allow me to be a bit biblical. The Bible says time and chance happen to them all.
Sure.
So I see every morning as a time to choose the chances that God has let out. But every decision I have to make comes with a basis of fear. There's fear of what if I made the other decision.
Okay.
So I do a SWOT analysis on the decision that I'm making so that I do not borrow grief from the past and say, maybe if I did something else, I would have gotten this. I don't borrow grief from the past.
Okay.
Every decision that I make, of course, I'll second guess it. Then I put the options available. And that's where I use maybe accounts kidogo. I say, this is the opportunity cost and what is the cost of it. And whatever decision I make at that point, I am aware of this foregone alternative, but I know that this one that I'm doing has a better return.
So would we in a way say that even though you didn't become what you studied in school in part, each of those elements plays a role in the decisions you make today? So cumulatively, they're as important?
Yes, they are. I'm here because I studied communication.
Okay.
I am communicating. Okay. Every single experience that a human being has an impact on their decision making, including the ability to harvest termites.
Only people from the village understand that.
Yeah. My daughter was asking me, how do you harvest those things? And I realized that sometimes the skills we learned in the village, we apply them. Our brain just refuses to correlate. Yes. Yeah.
So cumulatively, they are as important.
They are very important.
How best on from a social perspective?
Yes.
How do you think the values we've gained, given that you've spoken about being raised in the village, and how that has built a grit of sorts for you, and how you relate one skill, one element, one value to the other. How many of these values do you think have been stripped from the academic structure or the institution as we know it?
I went to school at a time when first we didn't have house girls. We were raised by our guardians and parents, and values were the basis of it. We were a child of everyone. We were children of everyone, including the teachers. Values were the core basis of our upbringing.
Yes.
Then academia was infused in those values.
Okay.
And that informs how myself as a village boy perceives things. I do not look at life as a profit and loss account.
Okay.
I look at life as an opportunity to serve. And I look at the service. I look at the impact. But I'm not stupid. I'll also look at the income bit of it.
Yes.
But it's not purely a profit and loss account. Sometimes my gain may not be financial. Okay. So that is basically the value, a summarization of the values I got, that life is an opportunity to serve and to interact.
There's a privilege the rest of us got. partly being raised in a time that we were raised,
Yes.
and with the values, and maybe just to add, being raised in the village where there was a community.
Yeah, sure.
How is that missing in today's upbringing, and especially when we set laws to govern the education system, which strips them of the social relative, the warmth of raising a child beyond just going to class to teach and then you leave?
We are living in a sad generation, be as it may.
Yes.
We were raised with stories. They are raised with screens. Okay. Parents are remote parenting their children, and it is the domestic managers raising our kids. And it's very individualistic. It's a competition on whose child knows more than the other child, not whose child is more respectful. Now, the education sector by itself, there's a more interaction of parents with their kids in the journey of academia, and also parent-teacher relationship has been enhanced by this new system.
Okay.
But the economic environment does not allow us to have much time with our kids as we would love to have.
Okay.
And therefore, our children are being raised without our influence.
Okay.
And without the influence of the community. So we are raising human beings who have almost zero social attachments. Growing up, it was different. During holidays, you'll go to your grandma's and you have other maybe 30 cousins of yours. You share everything. Right now, a child knows their nuclear family, and that is it.
That is the disadvantage of what we have today.
Yes.
So now, to shift a bit from that, let's talk about your entrepreneurial path.
My entrepreneurial path.
Yes. So now, what are the building pillars of your business or your entrepreneurship journey?
Okay. Purpose is one.
Okay.
I don't start with the numbers. I start with what is the purpose, okay, that I have for myself and for the community as I get into this venture.
Okay.
That will inform the level of sacrifices I'm willing to make.
Okay.
The niche, okay. Am I just another person on the block doing what another person is doing? Or am I being different, and for what reason?
Okay.
The people. The people is the network that I have to achieve this specific purpose. And that requires me to surround myself with people who are smarter than me and accept that they are smarter than me. As we speak now, my teachers are handling the kids. Okay. They are smarter than me. And I have to validate the fact that they are smarter than me. I have to understand that being a team leader does not make me the smartest person in the room.
Okay.
So I have to listen more. So the people are important from the time of researching feasibility study, when I go around and check what is it really that I'm adding to the community, the people that I bring on board, the people that I choose to draw advice and inspiration from, and the people that I'm serving. Okay. So once I get a balance on all these individuals, then I know my place. If it starts with the numbers, then I may not see those aspects. Okay. But numbers are also important. The numbers inform how much I'm capable, not just willing, I'm capable of biting so that I don't bite more than I can chew. And numbers also inform, because running a business is existing in an environment that is fast moving, and you need to plant knowing what your harvest will look like.
Okay.
And in case there's a reason why the harvest will not manifest, you must have some mitigating factors. Yes, so I run social investments, I'll call them, because I deal with humans, and what I'm selling is a service. So when you deal with a human being, you're dealing with emotions. And dealing with emotions means validating their emotions and making them feel heard, seen, accepted, and respected.
Okay. As an employer, have you had an employee who was competent and very good at what they do, but their social fabric was, or their value system was compromised? They couldn't relate with, they couldn't appreciate other people's contribution, that they thought their competence was primary above everything else, and you had to let them go?
Yes, that happens all the time.
Okay. Any case you'd like to, not without mentioning the individual, but maybe.
So, running academic institutions involves one, getting competent and academically qualified individuals. Okay. Sometimes when they come with their papers, they may forget that now here we are dealing with human emotions and not the papers they came with. And now that is where the difference between a good teacher and a bad teacher lays, because a good teacher understands that all these players come with their emotions. So I've had to let go very good team members who didn't see the value of handling children emotions and adult emotions. Well, their integrity was also compromised, Like ethically, there are things that you're supposed to cover as an employee, but it may be very juicy to share out. So it's a temptation we all have.
Okay.
But what sets one apart is when you know that it's juicy, but it holds someone's life. So you let it go.
Well, I understand. Well, have you partnered, have you worked with somebody whose intention you thought was achieving your social responsibility, both running an institution, until you realize maybe the objective was profit, which didn't fit well with your value system?
Again, I'll say all the time. We are in an economic system where everyone is going for an extra shilling. And the Bible says the heart of man is highly deceptive. Okay. And sometimes, and I do believe that initially when people are getting into a partnership, their desires match. Okay, they all want the best for themselves and for the idea. But as the business starts rolling and numbers start flowing, then the selfish human aspect comes out. Okay. So I've been in that place several times. I've made losses, but now I have learned to test before I trust. Okay. I have learned to test before I trust. I have learned to professionally look at paperwork. Okay. When you're getting into a partnership, write the paperwork as if you're getting into a partnership with the devil himself. But treat this person as if you're working with an angel. Okay. When the goodwill disappears, the paperwork will protect you. Okay. Yes. So now today, how do you, if you're employing a teacher or a support staff for your schools, how do you then check to ensure that outside of their competence, which is unquestionable, that their value systems are aligned, they can work with other people, team members, they can collaborate without desiring to be better? How do you check for that? Running an institution is like running a family. And you deal with people with kindness and patience. When they come in, you make it clear to them that this and this is the value system that we have here. Okay. This and this is what we won't tolerate. but then you're not there to police them, like waiting for them to make a mistake, and you keep on, refreshing their memory and leading by example.
Okay.
If you say we all are supposed to do this, you don't remove yourself from the equation and say, no, I'm not doing it as the boss. You must lead by example.
Okay.
And be patient with them.
Okay.
Yes.
As having studied psychology yourself as well, I believe there are certain places where you've seen a certain behavior exemplified or portrayed by a child, which pointed you to a mistake that a parent might be making. And sometimes we've seen parents get into conflicts with teachers because they think it's a competition of who knows how to parent better. How has that been for you running a school?
It happens all the time. Every parent is proud of their children. Every parent believes they know the best on how to handle their children.
Okay.
And I see it happen all the time when the conflict between this competition between parents and teachers on who kind of feels like they should be doing better. So I let school relationships stay in school.
Okay.
And I let home relationships stay at home. And I don't allow my teachers to directly handle conflicts or create even conflicts with parents.
Okay.
If there's a conflict, we have a policy on how to escalate it to our office, that is the management office. And we have parents that we have brought on board to help us govern the school. Okay. So that when the conflict is, the weight is on the side of the school, we have a fellow parent talk to the parent. And if the weight is on the other side, we have a team here that is accountable, that we are accountable to, and the parents are accountable to. When there's consensus of minds, then that conflict, such like conflicts are easy to handle.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you ever had a parent question your capacity to properly raise their child as a teacher yourself because they thought maybe they wanted better than you could provide?
So I run a primary school, and that is where I spend most of my time, more than the college.
Yes.
And there's this assumption that early childhood educators people who didn't really perform well in high school, and they went and did a certificate course
or a diploma
for a few months, and then they became ECD teachers. So 99% of parents come with that assumption. At the mean view, they look at you as an over-glorified house manager. Okay? Someone there to change their children's diapers and turn around. They will speak to you in that tone.
Okay.
Like they own you. They will remind you that they are paying. Okay? So it is something I don't try to prove that I know better. Okay. Because the parents are not my clients. My clients are the kids. When kids take home feedback, that's when now they come and they have a conversation. Okay. But now if a member of my team is in that position, I defend the member of my team. Because if everything has been done according to policy, then I make sure that the line of respect is not crossed. Okay. That is from the parent maybe making it seem as though the teacher doesn't qualify, or even sometimes the parent speaking down on the teacher in the presence of the child. Sure. How do you deal with that? Has it ever happened when parents come and because maybe a child misrepresented what happened, the parent comes and speaks down on the teacher in the presence of the child? It happens to me directly all the time, because now I have told parents you cannot call that teacher directly if there's a conflict. Call me. Okay. And they will call and they'll tell you how much they've spent on the child, and you're playing with their child's lives. But patiently, you our policy states that we must have a sit down. So when you have that sit down, I explain to them, okay? But I also give them confidence that I'm properly trained to handle human emotions.
Yes.
Okay. So we have conversations. Sometimes they're very much repeated. But once a parent has had this confidence that the child is in safe hands, they never go back.
Okay.
So it is a matter that has to be earned. Respect, admiration, and honor in the education sector has to be earned.
Okay. How do you think it contributes, maybe somewhat away from your school, or how we've seen on social media the entitlement that kids have because their parents are now powerful and can speak to the teacher, and the child also takes on the same behavior, maybe in other, as we've seen. How does that affect the moral compass of the child when they see their parent confidently abusing and negatively speaking about the very person who is supposed to be mentoring them? How does it progressively erode the moral fabric?
This is one of the biggest tragedies of our generation. And so kids learn more from imitation rather than from listening. So a child who comes from a disrespectful home will automatically show disrespect to the people around them. And if this disrespect has been directed to a caregiver or a teacher or any other adult outside the setting of their family, the child will project the same thing. Okay. Now, the onus is on the school to bring the child closer and guide the child, and also to speak to the parent without ceasing on the value of exemplifying mutual respect in front of the child. But commonly, that is what is eroding our society. Our kids have been taught to respect just two people, the father and the mother. The rest of the people are their employees. Okay. So it's a clarion call to parents. Us as parents, because I'm also a parent, we need to know where to draw the line. There's firmness to protect a child, but there's a line that when we cross, we're not protecting the child.
Do you think that is what has created the entitlement in the kids today, that if they don't get what they want, they can now burn down the school? They can lynch a teacher if they have an opportunity to. They can throw stones back at even the policeman when there's the riots in school. Do you think the fact that the parent has always created the environment to provide everything that the child wants, so anybody else who doesn't give them, that person is a problem, so we need to fight them?
In defense of the children, schools have been burnt in Kenya, not just in this generation. Okay. I remember in 2000, must have been around 2000 or before that, the Changuli fire in Machakos that a lot of kids died. There's the group psychology. There's the pent-up emotions that children have. There's also justifiable reasons for children to get angry. But unless we teach our children how to manage their anger and express their feelings about something respectfully, if we get this multitude of children in a place called a school, and you have a group of people who don't know how to communicate their frustration, they become brutal and they become very barbarian. So parenting is a huge factor, not just for the parent who is responsible for the child, but the community around the child. In my hometown, where I grew up, I don't know why this has changed. Every afternoon, a couple will be fighting. I don't know about your town. And it was like a norm to see our parents fight. But they will fight, and on Sunday you see them go to church together. So we had growing up, we had an image that people can fight, but people can mend. Now, People just abuse each other through SMS, and the marriage is gone. Okay. Our children see conflict. They don't see resolution of those conflicts. Okay. The resolution that they see is what they see on TV. Okay. Our politicians, if they don't agree with something, what do they advocate for? Picketing and demonstrations. And they'll call those demonstrations peaceful, but are they peaceful?
The results are different.
The results are different. In fact, they don't deem those demonstrations successful unless shops have been burnt down.
Somebody has been killed.
People have been killed, or some have been taken into police custody. Now they call that a peaceful,
successful demonstration.
A successful demonstration. So our children are observing what we are doing as adults. Okay. We don't expect them to miraculously know how to come on the table and have a conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are all contributing to that mess.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's quite interesting. But now we've gotten into the politics, what do you think exemplifies good leadership? What makes a good leader?
What makes a good leader? So I say a leader is a person who has the ability to plant his ideals or her ideals in the hearts of others.
Okay.
To the extent that the others are willing to forego their own ideals to pursue the leader's ideals.
Okay.
Therefore, these ideals must be communal, must be for the good of the most. It can't be for the good of everyone, for the good of the most, and that must be a very unselfish person, very selfless.
Okay.
Yes.
How was it possible that traditionally these elements were embedded in almost our DNA? We knew what was good for us communally and how to separate that from the selfish interest. But today, it's you can't isolate, we can't separate the two.
I'll say everything has become transactional.
Okay.
Everything has become very transactional, and we do not see the value of a person unless we see their net worth. And I will not blame it on the current generation. I joke that even the Bible talks about this guy who saved a city. It says there was a poor old man who gave advice that saved a city, right? Even the Bible itself did not write his name. But it says there's a rich man called Zacchaeus, and he was short. His name is mentioned. Even the Son of Man, Jesus himself, his statement is like, Zacchaeus, come down, we are eating dinner in your house, you know?
That was strategic.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah. Currency makes you sin.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we have now made currency the basis of choosing who can lead us.
Okay.
So if you have resources, that is the first thing that we are looking at. Then now your values can follow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are popular leaders necessarily effective, or is it possible that some very well-functioning leaders are not very loud and are not seeking for the public approval? That is why some are not liked. What is the difference between the two?
Popular leaders being?
Popular leaders, people who can pull hundreds and thousands of crowds and they're liked everywhere and they appear on every opinion poll. And some leaders who are never on the opinion polls, but somehow, if you speak to their people, these people are well-meaning, they have their agenda at heart and they are driving the agenda.
Okay. First, we must first understand that politics is not necessarily leadership.
Okay.
While politics is based on optics, leadership is based on impact.
Okay.
Politicians, mostly effective politicians, are very charismatic. The ability to pull, the ability to convince. Okay? Effective leaders, on the other hand, and I'm not saying that politicians may not be, effective leaders are more concerned about the impact.
Okay.
I'll put it in a family setting. Fathers, I'm talking about ideal fathers. fathers will sacrifice, but they will not come home and say they sacrificed. Fathers will wear the same pair of shoes for years. And it's sad. I don't know about you, but there are people that when you go to your village now, you will know them by the shirts they wore when you were in primary, they're still wearing. And they're taking care of their children, that you will not hear them complain. Mothers, on the other hand, behave like charismatic
Politicians.
Okay? When children ask for anything, and I don't know about your home, but in mine, you'll hear a mother say, ngoje pesa ya chama ikuje.
Takunulia.
Yeah. First, she has said she's sacrificing something she's waiting for, where that is coming from, and when it will be done. Fathers would rather go and say, I'll think about it. Can we talk about it in 2 days? In fact, this generation of fathers, I encourage this generation of fathers to make sure that what they're doing for their children is seen and understood by the children. So, popular figures may not necessarily be good leaders.
Okay. Is it possible that maybe on the bit of fathers, there are men who've been separated from their kids' lives because of the mother's intent to spite or to get back at the man, that I have leverage, and if you want to see them, you'll do what I say.
Yeah. Naturally, women are created smarter than men. And if there's one thing every woman wants is control. Every woman desires control. So even in parenting, women will naturally draw kids towards them. And now when you have a good spouse, the spouse reminds your children who is the leader of that home.
Okay.
But when you have a malicious spouse, your spouse, and in this case the mother, will use children as a leverage. They will use your children, they will weaponize your children against you. And in that sense, you do not have a family. The moment your spouse weaponizes your children against you, you do not have a family.
Why then are men afraid of starting over? Why is it difficult for men to believe that you can start over regardless? This is a failed course. You can never achieve appreciation, acceptance, and you're not needed. Why are most men afraid of starting over?
They're not afraid. They're hopeful.
Okay.
Hope kills a lot of people. The people that die in burning houses, they had hope that they can go in and come out. The people that die in war, they had hope that they'll go to war
and then come back safely. Okay.
Women don't take those risks.
So women are somewhat more pragmatic.
Yes. They're smarter than men. That's why the Bible says, and out of soil or earth, God created a man in his own image. But out of the bone of a man, God fashioned a woman. Fashion is very intentional. Women are smarter. Okay. And so most men are not really scared to start over. They keep hoping that things will change. Okay.
How do we change that? Or should we let everybody else's story play out? How would we help? Because in that hope, we've seen men abused verbally, emotionally, some physically. And of course, you can't talk about it because it makes you appear as though you're a weak man. So how do we help them appreciate that sometimes self-preservation requires that abandon that hope because it's not going to happen?
We should teach our boys to have the basic minimum level of this respect they can't handle. They should not handle. Once someone shows you their true colors, don't give them an opportunity to change the color. Women decide and move on. Men keep on hoping that things will change. So it is important in a marital setting, that we encourage our young men who are going into marriage to understand what they should see in their wives and know that this is going nowhere.
Okay.
And you have to separate your feelings from this. You have to be very logical. Sometimes the person you love the most will hurt you the most.
Okay.
And men love genuinely. I know this is very debatable. Men love genuinely, but women love the idea of loving genuinely.
The fantasy of it.
Yeah. So she's in love with the idea of loving you. So if the idea of loving you goes south, she walks away. Men have loved that person. And men make excuses for their significant others based on what they like.
Okay.
Yes.
And how important is it to teach solid identity? Because we've swung the pendulum so extreme on empowering girls that the disadvantage on the boy is evident today. So how do we autocorrect it? Because the boys of today, in empowering of the girls, the boys are paying for a mistake that they didn't do. But just being boys in a society that traditionally women have been oppressed. How do we correct that?
One boy at a time, one man at a time.
Okay.
We may not have a place where we can sit all men and talk to them, but one man at a time, one boy at a time. And we should be responsible for each other. I should not make an assumption that I have met you in studio and you're okay, and not ask you how you are genuinely doing. The olden days, the ancient times, there was a social structure on how men will vent out.
Okay.
In a polygamous home, the men ate together. A man and his sons ate in the same place, and they had their men conversation. The boys reached a certain age and they became part of this social structure. And men of a certain age did a lot of activities together, and therefore they were able to interact and, open up on what is eating them. A modern day man wakes up, goes to work, by evening is very tired. If he's a drinking type, he'll go to the club, take one for the road, then go home, sleep, and continue the same cycle. When he meets other men, it's out of a show. It's a show. He's on Sunday, dressed with his family. So nobody really knows what you're going through.
Okay.
But in the ancient times, we'll always converge together. And if you look at communities that have upheld this, like the divorce rate is low. Look, for instance, at Somalis.
Yes.
Okay? The Somali men will always move together.
Okay.
When you look at Maasais, the Maasai men will always have a time for the men. It is communities that have embraced modernity to an extent that is very individualistic that are suffering a lot. So it's one man at a time and being a brother's keeper.
Okay.
Yes.
Personally, I'm a Nairobi by bus person. I learn a lot from home than I do in town because it's the template of what growing up is like. So most of the things from there are able to easily connect for me than in an urban setup. Some of the problems that we're dealing with in the urban setup are not necessarily a reflection of who we are as a people, as a men, as parents. So sometimes are there solutions we're giving based on the statistics we're seeing in the urban setup? Because when the radio says this is the problem men have, then we begin to find a solution for that problem. When the radio says this is a problem women have, but I've traveled home a couple of times and people are not dealing with that. So some of the problems are urban-based. How do you think we control that? How do you think we manage that? Trying to offer solutions to people who don't even have that problem, but because we think we know better,
I think your question in itself is a solution. We basically say that in town or in the urban setup, we are very reactive. But back in our communities, we are proactive. There's already a structure that is being followed. So we come from different communities, we have different beliefs, and we have different ways of handling things. But it has to be very individual.
Okay.
Every man must decide for himself that I'm taking this part and deliberately put in an effort for it.
Okay.
Because media sells a version of a man that is there to follow orders. Mm-hmm. Okay? So if a man has things he has to do to even be called a man. While that is not supposed to be like that. You are a man because you're a man. You don't need to have money to be a man.
Okay.
Being a man is an assignment that God has given you. You are assigned a gender as a man. There are responsibilities that are obviously yours because you are a man. But the definition of you being a man is not based on some other person's approval.
Okay.
Yeah. So this seeking of approval and validation is killing our men.
Is that why mostly today the idea of a man is so fluid that if he doesn't have money, then he's not a man. And when he makes money, then we tell him money is not all that makes you a man, but presence and responsibility. If he's being responsible, we find an excuse to. So is it deliberate by media and whoever's idea it is to market the fact that a man will never be anything specific?
In my view, man must understand that the world in itself rotates around women, their desires, and their views.
Okay.
And if he waits for validation, then he shall die because of the rejection. Okay. So if a man is not inward looking, he's outward looking, expecting someone to define him, that is a dying man.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do we build that from the boys as they grow?
This is my perception. I have two sons, and I have spoken to their mothers and said, my responsibility as a man, as a father to these boys, is to teach them how to survive in a world like runs like a world that runs like a jungle.
Okay.
Okay. But it's my duty as a father of girls to teach them how to be loved. So when they say all kids are equal, all kids are not equal. What they need from us is totally different. Okay? Because a man is walking into a jungle, and every male species knows that it's either being hunted or is hunting something. Okay. From a very young age. Okay. Now, if we are going to teach our boys that the world is soft, these men grow up thinking they have to be validated. There must be an external force that tells them, you are a man. The only you are a man should have is from a father figure. Okay. From his dad, his uncles, and us as members of the community around him. Okay. That he may learn from us how we handle things, how we go through emotions. That is what is important, because the world is brutal. The world will tell a man everything to put him down. Okay. Okay. And it has become very profitable.
So it's generally business.
It's business.
The more unstable the man is, the more decentralized he is, the more business.
Sure.
What role then do you think our grandparents, and this I speak from an African perspective, how solidified should we be as an African appreciating our culture and dissociating it from what we are told, which is partly the religious element of who a man is, which is very fluid again.
Yes.
It's not solid. We can say now a man is, wake up, you're making money, you're providing for your children, you're a man. It keeps shifting. So how central do you think our African culture played in ensuring that the man's identity was solidified?
I really appreciate our culture. Because one, a man didn't need validation. Once assigned the gender of being a man at birth, there was already a structure on how you will grow up. Okay. And there were voices that kept on cheering you in your formation as a man. But they were not voices of doubt. But now, the voices that are speaking to our men create doubt on their validity.
Okay.
So our structure, our communal structure, told a man what he should do, when he should do it, and how he should do it. There was no question of who he is. He was already a man.
He grew up in a system that already identified or solidified him.
Yeah, he's already a man. In that system, this is how a man will grow up.
Okay.
And nobody came to remind him.
Okay.
But when we are trying to remind men that they are men, when do we get time to tell them what they should be doing as men?
Okay.
Because essentially the work of a man is to manage the community. Okay? To manage society, to manage resources within the society. Okay? And that is what he's created to do.
Okay.
The work of a woman is to be a helper. That's why she's smarter. Okay? Women have foresight when they're not emotional. Now, when you're a woman as a man, when your woman as a man comes to you and gives you foresight about something you're already managing, that is a winning formula.
Okay.
So if someone is created to manage society, now that is the boss, right? Now, how do we again go back and tell him, now we have to remind him that he's the boss? Okay? We've gone beyond zero. So when you have a boy child, you culture him towards management of the society.
Okay.
Okay. And the socialization towards that creates in him an indelible mark that this is who you are, and this is what you should do. Otherwise, the community and the society will tell them everything that is wrong.
Do you think while I appreciate part of what religions play, and to a great extent, while some may dismiss, I think there's a role it plays, which is very crucial. But then again, there is so much rhetoric on demonizing everything cultural. Everything that relates to a cultural practice is evil, it's demonic, and it's not. And then we tell a man, all you have to be is to serve, preach the gospel. On religion demonizes everything cultural. And while we've seen that there's a role that our culture plays in giving man a solid identity, why is it important to help a child find the balance, or as they grow up, to understand there's a role this plays that this other one doesn't, and there's a role that culture also, you shouldn't dismiss everything?
Okay. In my view, religion is not bad.
Yes.
But the colonizers who gave us religion also sold us their culture so that we would become easy to manage. Okay? So it was a system that was meant to make Africans to be submissive to them in a sense that is not involving of direct violence. Okay. So there are a lot of things that are the white man's culture that most believers think those things are Christian or Muslim for that matter. Okay. When you listen to an African Muslim speaking, they really want to be Arabic. Okay. When you listen to an African Christian speaking, they really want to sound English. Okay, or French, depending on the part where they've come from or where they are from.
Yes.
Now, we need to have a very personalized understanding of our relationship with God. Most theologians have refused to draw a line between what is actually Christian vis-a-vis what is the English culture. And I'll be specific to the East African community. So if we go back to religion in its purest form, as a connection between man and God, our places as the two genders are very specific.
Okay.
There is no conflict between men and women. But the moment when we punctuated Christianity with their culture, we started having problems.
So that means there are certain cultural practices that are only theirs. It's not godly, it's not biblical. But if you question the cultural practice, it's like you're questioning God.
True.
Okay.
So that is a neocolonialism way of capturing us. Because let me speak on the subject of polygamy, for instance. Most people say, I am a Christian, so I cannot have more than one wife. Is it biblical?
I don't think it is. Personally, I believe in polygamy. I'm most likely to become one, so...
I hope your wife is not watching this. So, there are a lot of practices that were there in our communities to safeguard the integrity of the whole community.
Yes.
But because the safeguarding of this communal interest will make it difficult to be governed by a person with another belief, so they made us believe that everything about us was satanic.
Okay.
Because tell me how a Kenyan will pay to go for pilgrimage in Israel to see the tomb of David, but he's saying he's unwilling to take care of his grandfather's grave because the dead have no
business with the living.
Make me understand why the same person that tells you polygamy is bad is the same person that is telling you homosexuality is not bad. Make me understand why a person who says gleaning is not bad, okay? But they have a problem with us taking a portion of our harvest and putting it at a certain place and saying the ancestors will feed whoever passes.
What is gleaning? I don't know.
Gleaning is in the ancient Hebrew culture, when you're harvesting, whatever drops on the ground, you don't pick. Okay. So that those who are homeless, those who are strangers in the land can come and pick.
Okay.
Therefore, you realize there are a lot of things that are in sync between Christianity and our culture, but we feel guilty doing them.
Okay. Yeah. So in essence, the fact that you believe in, or you're a convert, means anything in practice you shouldn't question. Believe it as the gospel truth. And anything that is cultural or relates to being an African that is demonic and should condemn it with everything.
Yeah, that is how we were cultured, so that it would be easy to manage.
Okay.
Yes.
Like the commemoration of the Easters and the Good Fridays and all these things, while maybe going home to commemorate your father's or grandfather's anniversary of it's evil, and we should condemn it with every possible. How do we remove that from the mindset of the kids we're raising? Because I also want my child to know that you shouldn't lean so much or think that everything in this book pertains to who you are. Or you shouldn't focus in the afterlife so much that you forget what your value is here. Because there are men who are suffering, women who are suffering in their marriages, but they can't walk out because the religion says this. There are women who are... How do we dissociate?
Okay, yesterday I had a conversation with someone and I told them, do you know what animal husbandry is? The art of rearing animals. And the art of rearing animals involves choosing mates, choosing where these animals will be, choosing, it's called husbandry.
Yes.
So husbandry comes from the word husband. And husband is essentially the head of the home. Okay? It is your responsibility to bring up children with the values you uphold. Okay? So it's not a question of how do we, but it's a question of, it's a demand on us that we parent our children and not delegate this to schools, Sunday school, religious activities for children.
The onus is on us.
The onus is on us.
Okay.
That's why I said, unfortunately, we are raising our children with screens and not stories. Because 90% of the things I know culturally, they were told to me as a story.
Yes.
In the evenings.
Yes.
Men should create time to tell children stories in their home. The beauty of it gets to you when you become an adult and you have stories you can say. Okay. It may be a bit boring from the start because you may not be as good as Cocomelon because you don't have sound bites. But as they grow, they start loving the storytelling. Start telling your baby boy stories when they are 2 months old. When you hold them, tell them stories.
Then they become familiar with who you and your voice.
Yeah. As they grow, they will want those stories. They will not want white noise to sleep. They will want daddy's story to sleep. And as they get into an age where now they're learning the world, they will remember daddy's stories. As from the village, when it gets to 7 and you're outside the home, your father's voice tells you in your brain, you're supposed to be home now. But your father has no power over where you stay. Now, the Bible says, teach a child a way they should go and they will not depart from it. Let's raise our children with values that we inherited.
Okay.
And values that we deem are important for this community.
Okay.
One child at a time, one man at a time. Let's be lesser busy. At the end of the day, you'll never make enough money.
Okay.
But you can invest enough in your child. So, fellow men, we should not delegate the work of transferring our culture and passing it over to our children, to teachers, to their mothers. Their mothers can play the same role, okay? But they will be helping us. The idea of transferring cultural values is that of a father, a grandfather in that lineage.
Okay.
Because your mom's culture is not your culture.
Your father's is.
Your father's is.
But now that we have single parenthood, single motherhood, which is celebrated today, actually it's a fashion. I think, and controversial as it may be, I think kids have become like souvenirs, like a trophy, something to use to tell the world who you are and what you can do. My child goes to this school. My child dresses like this, and we have photos of them on WhatsApp. My child can speak this language. How do we dissociate? Why can't we dissociate ourselves from our children's life and allow them to grow as individuals? Why must we impose ourselves, or why do you think it's necessary and today it's become a fashion, a trend of sorts?
It's not a bad thing. It's good to have pride in being a parent, okay? But a child should not be a figment of parading your pride.
Okay.
Because they're individuals with their own needs, likes, wants, and whatever, okay? Now, to disassociate will mean change in structure. It's not even about the children. It's an element of competition between parents, okay? Your friends whose children go to public schools will rarely post their children till the day they are doing the main exams and their results are out. Parents whose children go to private schools post swimming today, tomorrow it's saxophone practice, not because
no lessons.
They want to prove to their age mates that they're doing better parenting and exposing their children to better things. Okay? And it's not a bad thing. It is a good thing, but there must be control.
Okay.
You must know a level that you should not pass. Okay.
In our culture, and culture I speak to across African society, what was the equivalent of the piano lessons, the swimming, the violin, something that derived pride in the parents, seeing the kids make this step. What was that equivalent?
First, in the African culture, the child did not belong to an individual. The child belonged to the community. And if one child excelled in a field, we were all joyful. If that child had an issue, we were all aggrieved. Okay? A child is meant to play, learn, and grow. Okay? Now, learning is acquiring skills that are necessary for their survival. The young one of a cat is taught how to sharpen the claws. The kitten is not taught how to swim. It's taught how to sharpen claws, how to pounce, what to do when it's thrown from a very long distance, because all cats land on their feet. Okay? That is what is taught to those cats. So a child in a given community, his play or her play was equivalent to what the society wanted them to do after. If you come from a community that it was nomadic, your play involved playing with animals. You learn how these animals behave. If you come from a farming one, you played around the farm. In your play, you learned and you grew. Now, that was the equivalent. But the reason there was no, my child can dig better than yours is because your child was mine as well. Okay? So we could just call them by name and say, Matthew knows how to do this. And I'll say, okay, by his age mate to my son, let them start sleeping in the same house. Do you remember those days? When your father will tell you from today, you and Matthew will be sleeping in Matthew's cottage.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Why? Because you were to go and learn something from Matthew. Okay? Or your father will say, you and your cousins from today, you're sleeping in your grandmother's home. So that all of you go together and learn from each other. But now, for us, one, if the other child has gone to study Mandarin, I take mine for French classes. So when you tell me he's speaking Mandarin like a Chinese, and I tell you, in my house it's just all French. So we don't want our kids to learn from each other, but we want our parental ego to be soothed. And that is where the problem is. Yeah, we don't have a standard bar on how we can raise our children. Well, as we come to the end, are you fortunate to still have your dad alive? Yes, my dad is alive. What did you send him any gift last Father's Day? No, I didn't. Before then, the previous one? So this is how I operate with my dad. I was named after his father. So he's my son. So him being my son, he will reach out and make some demands, or some requests. I being his father, of course, I'm not saying that I have power over him, but culturally, I understand. I must make provision for him. Now, when I'm missing the path, he will also address me as such. And say, you are my father, but now you're behaving as if you're not my father. And that is how I am with my parents. That is new. I was named after my grandfather. So even my mom, Blacks is actually my grandfather, but commonly everybody call it Blackie. So my mother addresses me as her father-in-law. So I do not wait for dates on the calendar.
But now, just a slight shift as we conclude. Given that this demand for you, I see how cultured you are and how that plays to who you are as a person. On the fact of black, do you not then look at it as black tax the way everybody else talks about it, as though it's you helping your parents or contributing to your family's change and development is a burden that we should find a way to put down.
Yes, I have a problem with black tax, but I have an understanding of the African perspective of wealth.
Yes.
The African perspective of wealth is that there's no individual that is wealthier than the other.
Okay.
Is that when God chooses to bless a village, he takes one of the sons of the village and blesses him with wealth. Okay. And that person holds wealth vicariously.
Yeah, for the community.
For the community. So when there's a need, he distributes this wealth to the people. Wealth for us is not what you're holding materially, but is the blessing that makes it sustainable.
Okay.
So it could be a personal effort to get the wealth. Okay. But for its sustenance, protection and expansion, we know it's a blessing. And the blessing comes because you're holding it on behalf of the community.
Okay.
Okay. So because also of modern demands, you must know where you draw the line.
Okay.
That you do not give out so much that you, as the custodian of the wealth on behalf of the community, goes into a hole, because the whole community will go to a hole.
Okay.
Yes.
So everything you believe that you're given in trust.
Yes.
With the community, the family, and where you're coming from.
Yes.
So I shouldn't look at myself as though I worked harder, or that, it's on me. Everybody struggle for themselves.
It was your responsibility to work hard.
Okay.
As a representative of our community.
Okay.
Okay. And when you were working hard, we were praying and making sacrifices. Everybody was working hard. Okay. And there are just two types of people. My grandma used to tell me, give us and take us.
Okay.
Take us, never accumulate. Give us, accumulate.
And we learn everything every day. It's been quite a refreshing engagement. Maybe your final message to any other person who might want to hear from you, people that you mentor, people that look to you in one way or another, or just a man or a boy who's learning about himself.
Boy child, take care of yourself. The world is very unkind to men. Take care of yourself. Take care of you first, so that you're able to take care of others.
Okay.
And the community is yours to manage, but you will not manage it if you're damaged.
Thank you very much. Tell us about your school, market it where possible. How can people reach you? What do you offer that can be helpful to a parent who wants some of your services? Okay.
I run 4 institutions. I run a primary school called Ernest Joy Educational Center. It is in Feather Estate. We have pre-primary and primary. We will be launching a junior high in a few.
Okay.
I would say it is a school where children come to learn, play, and grow. That is our motto. So if you are around Feather, find us at Kwandege. Do I need to give my phone number?
Sure.
My phone number,
email
is 0739 999 409. We run a college in Utawala, and we have a branch in Athi River called Riena International College. We do train people in matters business, that is commerce-based courses, engineering, psychology, which is my forte, theology, and several other things. Our website is rienainternationalcollege.co.ke. Phone number would be the same. I am the coordinator for the International Leaders Bible University, which is a US-based university that operates within East Africa under the banner of our college.
Okay.
It's a full-fledged university with all the courses. We will, of course, the website is ilbu. It's ilbu.us.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I am the chair for the University of Scouting, which is a product of the World Scout Parliamentary Union, domiciled under the State Department for Devolution.
Okay.
We deal with young people between the age of 25 and 50.
Okay.
We call them former scouts. So it's like a mentorship, an ongoing mentorship program of people who are scouts and now they're in leadership positions, majorly parliamentarians. So we have around 25 senators.
Okay.
We have around maybe 120 members of parliament and thousands of members of the county assemblies who work with us to enhance the communities.
Okay.
Yes, that's all.
Thank you very much for a very, very, very engaging session. If you have an opportunity to learn, this is one that you would definitely take something out of. If you have an excuse to not to make change where there needs to be, I'm sure there are lots of reasons from this engagement for you to make excuses. So pick what fits you and what you think is relevant. Leave it at that. Thank you for this. Hopefully we'll meet in the next session. God bless.